So everything's on, and it's on low. As soon as I turn it to high, it all turns off. As soon as I turn it back on to off low beams, they all turn on again. What's up, guys? Zach here. This is a DADBOD MotoVlog Season 2. Sorry I'm late to the game. Happy New Year. It's already April. And I didn't film for a while because back in October, my best friend Mike and I were planning a trip. Nice all-day ride. Going up over a summit and back down the other side. And then, but while we were scouting out the trail the day before, we were coming down the road and was coming around a corner and I washed out. Didn't really have, for whatever reason, I just didn't react. And I went down with the bike about as hard as you could. I ended up breaking 9 ribs with 11 fractures, 8 on my left side and then 1 on the right. I had a hematoma in my leg, which is like a blood clot, like a tear and bleeding on the inside. It still gives me trouble. The leg does. The ribs, pretty much for the most part, are pretty healed up. I feel pretty good. Every now and then the weather changes and I'll kind of feel or be achy, you know. But for a month after that accident, I had to sleep in a chair. And my mom was so gracious as to purchase a electric recliner that would kind of scoot you out, like an old man's chair, scoot you out of that chair. And that was a lifesaver, actually. And I love that chair. I still have it, still use it, and it has all kinds of other cool features. The day after the accident, I got a ride home with Mike. I left my truck, my trailer, all the toys, my T-dub. It was all, I left it all there. Around November, my mother-in-law brought my truck up, and then during Christmas or over Christmas weekend, my father-in-law brought my bike back up so I could do some work because I did do some damage, and I'll talk about it later. But now that the weather's getting nice, it's April, it's starting to warm up, I've been getting the itch to ride again. I'm doing some modifications to the bike that I wanted to do, and I had to repair a few things as well from the washout. Today's video, we're gonna be doing the wiring of some of the add-ons that I made. A couple weeks ago, we did the installation of some of that stuff, and like we put on a heated seat, we did heated grips, we added a electrical switch, or like a rocker switch dash, if you will. Also, we changed the front tire to a Shinko 241. Yeah, I am not ever riding a stock TW front tire ever again. It could be user error and probably is rider error, but just to be on the safe side, I'd rather not. That's what we're gonna do today. I'm just waiting for him to show up and we'll get started. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and walk around the bike and kind of show you what we've done or what I've done so far. You can see I put a brand new Shinko tire on it. I love that tread, and I think I'm gonna feel a lot more confident and safer on it. And that's just me. I mean, there can be an argument made that it doesn't make a big difference, but I'm a firm believer after my accident that it is. Some of the damage that happened was I had to replace this and lost my Bigfoot sticker, but I replaced it with the Hooray Hoo sticker. For those of you who don't know, I'm a singer in a band that was we were together way back in like 2000, 2001, and we decided to get back together and start jamming again. So it's like a funk, reggae, rock, ska band. It's a big band, it's got brass section, and it's a lot of fun. Some of the other damages that I had was it bent the handlebars. The handguards that were on it were, they held up and they protected my controls, but I ended up replacing those anyway. My quad lock, see, you can see how that's busted. So I had to get a new one of those. And I'm gonna peek over the side. That foot peg was busted, the shifter was bent, so I replaced the shifter. And the foot pegs, Mike had replaced with some other ones, so he gave me his old ones. But I'm trying to think of what other damage there was. That was probably it. Here are the things that I've done. So obviously I did the new tire. I added these little auxiliary lights. This is just kind of here for reference. I'll be taking that off. I added Tusk hand guards, heated grips, control for the heated grips over here. These are also made by Tusk. And I added a RAM GoPro mount. And the electrical switches I was talking about are right here. Whoops, there it is. But that's about it on the bike. Oh, I did the seat. When you install the seat, there's this cord that kind of can't really get around. So I don't like the way that it looks, but it doesn't really affect when I sit on it, at least not right now. But the idea of having a nice warm tush will be great. And the other thing, a big important thing actually I did, was I got Pro Taper handlebars replaced from my stock ones, and I love them. So some of the stuff I'm gonna need is some inline fuses, some relays, and some heat shrinking tubing and connectors, and a bunch of zip ties. One thing I replaced with that quad lock being busted is I got a wireless charger adapter. All right, guys, so that pretty much wraps this video up. I'd like to thank Mike for coming over and doing most of the wiring. I'm not very good at it, but he seemed to do a pretty good job. I'm overall really pleased with it. We had to take the tank off once we put it on because when we put it on the first time, we smashed one of the relays and had to replace it and change a fuse. Then we reworked the wiring a little bit and the tank was able to slide on a lot easier. And as you can see, all of the indicators work fine, but like I showed you in the intro, as soon as you turn the high beams on, it dies until you turn it back off. Is that a big deal? No, not really. Unless you want to have high beams and all the indicators. It's still rideable. I'm still gonna ride it. We're just gonna have to schedule another time. And the reason why that is happening is because we tied it into the headlamp wiring, and so we're gonna have to rework the power to probably a different wire, maybe from the harness or so. We might have to dig into the factory harness a little, but that's for another day. So right now, I'm good to go. Thanks for watching.